We worked really hard on the storyline for Dungeon Hunter 4, as well as the world where the game takes place.
We wanted to focus more on building a world again, having the player explore the world, meet new people, and kill them.
The loot system is something we really wanted to bring back for this game. In addition to that, we brought some new stuff that wasn't in previous Dungeon Hunter games, including enchanting or charming weapons. If you find a piece of gear that you like, you can really expand on it and hold on to it and make it your own.
Compared to the previous Dungeon Hunter, we're focusing more on the skills to make the player feel mobile, more powerful, and inversely, the monsters and the bosses have the same feeling. So you're conflicting with escalation of skills and abilities where the player is going to be more challenged than before.
For Dungeon Hunter 4, we opted for 4 character classes. We have 2 melee classes and 2 ranged classes.
The Battle Worn is our warrior class. He's a big guy or a big girl who has a giant sword and knows how to use it. And then we have the Blade Master, who is possibly my favorite class. Rushes in thick of it and cuts things up.
The 2 ranged classes are a mage. He is very vulnerable up close, but his ranged magical attacks are very powerful. He's very interesting for that. The Sentinel class is a ranged class with the bow and arrow.
He stays at a distance and shoots arrows like crazy. It's a lot of fun.
In Dungeon Hunter 4, we wanted to push a little bit in terms of the variety between levels. We have levels that are outside, sometimes in forests, sometimes in villages, but we also have the good classic underground, in the dark, oppressive levels that give the player the feeling that they're in a dungeon, they're in some underground chasm.
There's some levels that are single player only, and that's where a lot of the big story beats happen. It's also where we have our big open world levels that are bigger than any of the ones we had in previous Dungeon Hunter games.
We add a lot of little tidbits, little details, and also an overarching story that explores the mystery behind the player and the war that he's engaged in.
We also have sort of arenas like we had in DH3. These can be played solo or with friends. These are very intense, very high action arenas that end with a really cool boss fight. And then finally we have team PvP and free-for-all PvP. You can take the gear and weapons and skills that you've amassed in the other game modes and then go in PvP and show your friends how good you are at kicking butts. I think fans are going to be very happy with DH4 because it brings back a lot of the stuff from older Dungeon Hunter games like story and cinematics and loot, but also the things that were really successful in Dungeon Hunter 3.
Let's just say that there's a lot of end game content that's in the game. The game doesn't end, it just goes on, and it's going to be something fabulous that people are going to want to spend a lot of time on.